Have you ever walked away from a coaching session or a class or a course module and noticed that other people seem to be getting it faster than you? Like maybe you're one of those people who scratches your head and goes, am I a bit slow? Like, how come other people are getting it so fast? Like, am I not very clever? I hear these sorts of things all the time from clients when they feel like other people are picking things up faster than them, and they're apologizing that it takes them time in order for something to really land from a coaching session, or that they have to maybe work their way through many YouTube videos on my channel before they're like, oh, now I get it. And they're making themselves wrong for it. So if you are somebody who it feels the same way, you're making yourself wrong, you feel like you're somehow not as smart as other people, or something's broken, or there's something wrong with you, then in this mini masterclass today, I am going to talk about what is happening from a human design perspective. And my hope is that at the end of this, you are going to feel like there is nothing wrong with you and you are just designed a specific way. Now, what I'm going to talk about specifically is two aspects, your definition and your inner authority. And we're going to look at a little bit of a spectrum here. So I'm going to attempt to hit most of the different configurations so that you can see where you fall in this spectrum. So if you are feeling like you're a bit slow, it's kind of a permission slip, or I'm recognizing you for the way that you are designed, and hopefully you will be able to see that there's actually nothing wrong with you. And in case we've never met before, I'm Caroline Southwell. I'm a 2/4 emotional projector with split definition, since we're talking about inner authority and definition. And I've been playing with human design for 12 years, and I really am very motivated, according to my design, to take powerful new concepts, things from human design, and explain them simply. So you can let me know at the end of this if I've done my job well. Okay, so let's firstly talk about definition. Now, I'm hoping that at this point, one, you have your human design chart, and two, you have listed on there what your definition is. Now, I did a series of YouTube shorts over the last few months, and actually after I finish this, I'll link the whole playlist here. So if you look at that playlist, can I put my finger straight? When you look at the playlist, there will be up there, it's called Human Design Terms, Caroline S, because that's how it would fit in from a search term perspective. Human Design Terms, Caroline S. And in there, you'll be able to find your specific, some of the specific things that I talk about in your chart. But there are only a handful of options with definition. Your chart is either going to say single, split, it might say split large or split small, but it's a split where you've got two parts, triple split, quadruple split, or none. Okay, and none are going to be the reflectors. So let's talk about definition first, assuming that you know what yours is. At the speedy end of the spectrum, we're going to have people with single definition. People who have single definition don't have multiple parts that all need to talk to each other in order to figure things out. So single definition is just like there's one defined part of you, and it can be much faster, depending on what's happening with your inner authority, it can be much faster for this single definition person to just get things on the spot. Okay? Now, if you have split definition, like I do, and probably the majority of the population has at least one split, it's the most common definition configuration. It means that you have two parts of you that need to be able to talk to each other. So let's just say that you have listened to a long YouTube video where somebody has explained all of this stuff about human design, and you're trying to see how those puzzle pieces go together for you. You have two separate parts that need to be able to talk to each other. Now, if you don't happen to be in a workplace or a home environment where anybody else is around, then it may not be until you leave the house or leave the workplace or go and hang out with other people that somebody will bridge that split for you with their design and allow those two pieces to talk to each other. And that might be what is needed. Remember, we're just talking about definition first, and then you've got to layer in the part with inner authority. But that might be what it takes for these two parts to go, oh, now I understand what she was talking about. Now, this is even more so with triple split and quadruple split, because with triple split, as the name suggests, you have three parts. Am I holding out the right number of fingers? Yes, three parts. And those three parts need to talk to each other. So you need to be in an environment where you can have other people bridge the connection between those three parts before you're going to have a chance to really get it. If you're a quad, yes, 4 fingers. If you're a quad split, then you've got 4 parts that all need to talk to each other, right? Can you see how the more, and we will talk about no definition in a moment, can you see how if the more different parts of you have from a definition perspective in your design, the slower the process will be for you to integrate things. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Single definition does not make that person any better than the split, the triple split, or the quad split. It's just a different process. And the world is this magical tapestry of different designs for a reason. We all are designed to do things differently at different speeds in different ways because that's what's needed for the evolution of humanity. So the more that you can, with definition, and inner authority that I'll talk about in a moment, but with every part of your design, like come to accept and embrace and love your design as it is, the more life is going to work for you. The more you're going to be like, yes, I know that my design is weird and wild and wacky and different than anybody else's, and I fucking love it. It's awesome. Right? And then you get to like leverage the skills and the strengths and the traits and the enthusiasm and whatever you might have in your design, whatever you're uniquely motivated by, you're going to have an opportunity to really make the most of that and live into your potential using your design. So if you are a reflector, 1.5% of the population, your definition says none. And there's a couple of different things that might happen here. If you are in the center of your community, from a parts perspective, it's like you have maybe somewhere in the vicinity of 20 teeny tiny parts, all those hanging gates that are all looking for their opposing gate to like link up. So you might have some definition provided by like whatever is happening with the planets, like all of us do, but it is more obvious for the reflector. You guys probably feel it more than we do. And that might provide some of the, these parts talking to these parts. But if you're in the center of a community, you might have an opportunity for that bridging to happen through multiple people fairly quickly. But if you're a reflector and you work your way through a course or a program, and then it's a whole month or 2 before you like really get some of the big concepts, perfect. That's your timing. You're designed to be, in some ways, sometimes slower than the rest of us, and that's perfect. Now, let's talk about inner authority. So that was one spectrum to layer in. And then on the other hand, we have inner authority. So the fastest, most of the time, is going to be this person with splenic inner authority. So splenic projectors, splenic manifestors. So a splenic inner authority person, regardless of their type, if they were also single definition, these people are going to be fast. They're going to get the insight in the coaching session. They're going to get the insight while the person is like, maybe halfway through a course module. So if that's you, great. You're designed to move really really quickly, really fast. And maybe you just need to give the rest of us some grace because the whole rest of the world is going to be slower than you. So if you have splenic inner authority, and I see this with my splenic clients, I will say something and then they just get it immediately. I was like, oh, that was so fast. How did you do that? Oh, yeah, right. Your splenic inner authority just knows stuff in the moment, and you can just get stuff. You can just integrate. You can just start to integrate, start to understand. So then the other one that's very, very fast is sacral inner authority. So you sacral generators and sacral manifesting generators, you're about 30% of the population. And as long as you're connected to that sacral gut knowing, then you might be able to feel like I'm doing this, because it's like you might be able to feel from your gut, oh, yes, like I'm responding to that. I'm resonating with that. That makes sense to me. Like my gut says yes. I watch my sacral beings when they're in sessions, especially, I mean, it's true for all of the generators and manifesting generators, but especially you guys that are very quick. I will watch them as I'm teaching them things, and they will just like nod along, like, yep, got it, yep, got it, yep, resonating, yep. Right? So it can be very fast. Okay, let's look at some other of the inner authorities here so that you can layer this in depending on your design. So in terms of speediness, again, remember it's going to depend, because you can have a splenic definition person who has a splenic inner authority who has split definition. That'll slow them down. You could have a sacral inner authority person who has triple split, right? Definition. That's going to slow them down. But thinking just about, you'll have to layer the two together depending on your design. Thinking about your inner authority, an ego authority person, so ego manifestor or ego projector, may be fairly fast in getting things, but it's going to be focused on what you want. Do you want the, like, if you're really attached to and really want the information that you're getting from somebody, and you can see how you're going to like allocate more resources towards this, then there might be a clicking that's quite quick. What I do find is the process is a bit slower for you guys, because you often, not all the time, but often need to talk to somebody else who's around you, who's going to be a sounding board, for you to be able to talk about what you want to do with the information that you've learned, how you want to allocate resources towards these things that you're learning, how much time, how much energy do you want to allocate towards that. And so sometimes there is that sounding board aspect for the ego authority. The same is true for the self-projected projector and the mental projector. Now, I did separate videos on all of these. So ego authority, I'll link that up here, and self-projected authority, I'll link that up here, and mental authority, I'll link that up here if these are yours. I don't want to go into lots of detail about what they all mean individually, but all of them to some degree have a needing to talk things out. So even if you were a single definition, ego authority or self-projected authority or mental authority, you may need in your process, in order to be able to like integrate and like get the insight, you may need to talk out the thing that you learnt for your own specific reasons for your configuration. Again, the videos are like 10 or 15 minutes each, just talking about those. So if you haven't seen those videos and that is your inner authority, then I recommend that you spend the time to learn about them a bit more. And of course, the slowest from for all of us solar beings, again, the reflectors are slower again from a lunar perspective, but when we're talking about inner authority and we're talking about digesting and integrating and getting insights from the things that you're learning, an emotional authority being is going to be slower, right? I notice for myself as an emotional being, we have, just like in making decisions, we need to take some time to go through our wave. What seems to happen is that from a processing perspective, we also need to go through our wave. So I can have like, I can sit through a class or a course or a coaching session or a powerful conversation with a friend or with someone and go, oh yeah, that's interesting. And then a day or two or three later, I'll be like, boom, oh my God, life-changing insight. But it takes time. And if I made myself wrong for it, then I would think that there was something like wrong with me, that I was slow, that I was not clever. And none of these things need to be true about me or you. We just have a different processing time. So if you have emotional authority, especially, can you give yourself the grace of going like, this is just my process. My process is slower than especially the splenic and the sacral beings. Okay. Now, reflectors, you may, again, I sort of talked about this in the no definition part of this video, but giving yourself time, like you're linked to the moon, things can move slowly. Now, as my reflector friends and clients like to remind me, sometimes they can move fast. One of the key things about a reflector is that they are inconsistent. Things are always changing, right? And I have heard reflectors who are like really committed to their process say that sometimes things just take a whole month or two for them to just like really come back around and for things to be really clear. So again, not making yourself wrong for that, just recognizing this is my design. Now, if you would really love somebody, me specifically, let's be clear, if you would like me to walk through your chart and help you to like better tease apart your chart so you can understand it better and maybe release some of those bullshit stories that you have picked up along the way about how something is wrong with you or something should be different or something's missing or something needs fixing. If you have any of those stories and you would like me specifically, the projector, to guide you and help you better understand yourself, there is a link to coaching in the video description. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with somebody else who you know it might help, because that's how this content, this free content for you, gets to like be maximum benefit for the whole community.